Hey all, I'm going to demonstrate an industrial use case in this video. This is the agenda and finally we're going to integrate AWS RDS with Wordpress. This architecture is a glimpse of the use case. I'm going to start with creating RDS on top of AWS. Select the following while creating an RDS. Let's get started with creating RDS. We can also use local database that consumes physical hard disk. One of the major reasons why we use AWS RDS is that we can pay as we go. It also has many advantages like security, high availability, delete protection, and many more. Finally, we can see that our database is creating. I chose EC2 instance as my OS, and these are the steps to create an EC2 instance. I'm going to launch my EC2 instance in Mumbai region. I'm using Relay with T2 Micro, and I'm launching it in 1A subnet and 10 default storage and adding tags, and I'm allowing all traffic and launching the instance with a key pair. Here I'm using Putty to log into this instance. These are the steps to supervene before we get into the use case. By default, EC2 instances comes with some repos and we need to update those repos to our need. And DNF update is one of the commands through which we can update our repos. We need FL repos too. Downloading VIM editor is totally optional, but we need wget to download WordPress packages from the internet. Here I'm using Apache Web Server and for Railite it is HTTPD. Installing HTTPD. Let's configure PHP. I'm using version 7.4 and to make it compatible with my SQL version. And I'm using Remi repos for this. Installing Remi repos. Downloading the PHP 7.4 module. Installing client library for MySQL. We need MySQL to access the RDS from EC2 instance. Installing MySQL. Let's connect to RDS from EC2. The host name is provided by RDS and that is endpoint. Give the username and password and we are good to go. We have successfully connected. Now let's create a database. Remember this database is used by WordPress. Creating database. WordPress. It's an open source website creation platform. It's a content management system too. And we need to download this package from the internet using wget command. Now we need to extract this start zip folder to executable folder. We have successfully extracted. Now we are good to go for the main phase. We need to update the following details in the WP sample config file and save it as WP config file. This file is used by WordPress. This is the sample config file. I have updated all my details in the sample config file and I'm gonna save it as WP config file. By default, Rail doesn't give permissions to WordPress, so we use set enforce to give the permission and restart the server. Well, I'm giving the permissions and let's see with get enforce. Yes, it's permissive. Now finally, let's restart the server and the status of the server is active. Finally, the configuration part is done and let's access the WordPress in the browser and sign up to it. Let's copy the public IP address and slash WordPress. And I'm giving the site title as Earth Learner and username as Varshita for accessing the WordPress account and my email ID and the password. I'm confirming it and installing. Here it doesn't ask for any RTS details as we have already configured it in the config file of WordPress. So finally we have an access to the WordPress account. Now we can publish, create whatever we want. Thanks for watching the video and let me know your thoughts in the comments or DM.